Oh yes, please. Greetings to all. I wish the Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences all the very best on this 26th Foundation Day. Dr. Sachidanand, the Honorable Vice Chair, Chancellor, the faculty members, the Senate members, the members of the university, the staff of the university, ladies and gentlemen here, ladies and gentlemen on the online space. Thank you for this kind invitation. I had the fortunate exposure to all facets of governance in my life. Bombay Municipal Corporation, where my chief was the advisor and director of the health services of corporation. I was very close to him. The state government, because of my role in Jayadeva Institute in the foundation days with Dr. Chinaya. The central government during my MCI years and last 30 solid years.
Recording in progress.
On high chairs of corporate governance of healthcare. It's given me a bird's eye view of the panorama of this whole thing. And from that place, I would wish to talk a few things today, and I may take a little more time. The 26th year of this great idea is very exciting because this idea has put everything in one basket, and you can see the fruit that a lot of things are now very well streamlined. It was not easy, it must have been difficult, but that is it, that's over. And now we look at tomorrow and the day after. In the life of a huge organization like RGUHS, 26 years is a small time. It's still a kid, a child. But then there is a lot of noticing of this child by this entire country. So I think you have done a good job. Our university has now grown much larger horizontally. We have so many affiliated colleges sprawling all over, and now it has forced us to create regional centers so we get more decentralized. That's a very good idea, and we govern the quality of these places better. But we must remember that the times are now changing much, much faster. We are at an inflection point because of so many technologies booming up. And education and medicine is going to go more in the technology way and faster than ever before. Classrooms, outpatient departments, libraries are all going to escape the buildings and the four walls. So we have to be very sensitive to all this when we plan. For RGU, now begins a long adult road that demands big dreams, and more hard work than the last 26 years, because everything will be very fluid now onwards. It is said that perfection is a mirage, yes, but if you aim for that, you pursue that, you would definitely glow somewhere near excellence. So that should never be forgotten, and we must always pursue perfection. The inviting future is asking us not to compare ourselves with the other Indian universities, but keep our eyes on to Harvard, Yale, Stanford, and Cambridge, and Oxford, and places like that. And that would take us much more than we would have otherwise gone looking at other Indian universities. We will need to eye 4 important target areas, and all simultaneously. Research, which is the soul of any university. Quality, also quantity at the same time. And unlike what we have believed all this time, fundraising, which has not been given enough importance. While constantly striving to showcase, while doing all this, we must be also striving to showcase our brand of Rajiv Gandhi University. Today's world, PR and branding is something not to be ridiculed, but remembered very seriously. But before I discuss these 4 points, I want to look at 2 important points which are at the core, the bottom of all these points. The first is the chair of the Vice Chancellor, which is the key, the most important position and most protected position of this university. It's a brave and committed Vice Chancellor who is full of initiatives and a strong sense of ownership, who will navigate this ship to glorious destinations. One man harnessing power of too many, one man yielding great power, but who will never use that power. Every Indian prime minister comes and goes, but very rarely a great prime minister comes. When a great prime minister comes, the Indians will vote him and get him back. Unfortunately, in this university, what I see in your mandate, that there is no way a great vice chancellor can come back. I think the government of Karnataka should look at this very seriously, that university should have the power to recall a great vice chancellor. Secondly, I also heard that an IAS officer is going to be made registrar of this university, which I think I theoretically oppose. A senior experienced MBA officer who has done a crash course in the administrative school of government can do a better job and can not allow any decision making slow down. Today, it's so important to be slim, trim, and fast. You can't have a decision making going through so many layers. I also learned when the Jayadeva was being built that whatever mandate, whatever power, empowerment the government gives us, it is all up to us. How much we take it, we can be that much powerful. Autonomy is only by the person who takes it. Dr. Chinnaya taught me this. And there is no need to bend to politicians or the bureaucrats after a certain level. RGU also can be a quasi-IMS. What is IMS? Right from the Shah Jahan's time, the Britishers created a medical corps. After the 1857 mutiny, the medical corps were turned by the Queen, who took over British company, the East India Company, into Indian Medical Service, parallel to the Indian Civil Service, ICS. And this was half white, half brown. They did a great job when the world wars came. First war, second war. Lot of original contribution in cholera, malaria, anthrax, smallpox, plague, everything. If you Google the Bore Commission report in 1943, you will see what kind of a acute acumen they had in Indian infrastructure of health. In 1947, August 15, we buried it. We killed this fetus, which had almost grown nicely. And that is a sin that we have done, which probably the God is punishing us, that today we are so clueless about healthcare management. If IMS was alive today, imagine what we would have been teaching to the whole world, including America and England, such strong countries, how they are struggling. IMS would have been a dream. Today, Rajiv Gandhi, I feel, may not have empowerment or executive powers, but could substitute for IMS till IMS comes. That the government of Karnataka should always fall back on Rajiv Gandhi University for all opinion making and all guidance. And that is possible because we have such strong faculties here and we can always make fantastic subcommittees. Secondly, whether we should be in the traditional method of being in an expensive, large, sprawling campus of a university, a land near Ramnagar, spend a lot of money on the civil constructions, away from the city, or we should be inside the city, slim, trim, single, big tower, and trying to live much in the online space than a building. Look at great universities like Corsia. It's possible, and that's the future. We must remember that and we must spend our funds, which are rare, wisely. The future is there. Being slim, trim, doing much more in much less, and being more on the online space than inside the four walls. Now, the wireless and digital world will certainly demand a lot from our university to change from this mindset. Coming to my body of subject, research, quality, quantity, and fundraising. Research should be at the heart of any university, and especially university like us, Health Sciences University, which has hundreds of affiliated colleges managing themselves, allowing us enough time to concentrate on major agendas like these four. Research activity in a place like RGU, I feel, should be a lone wolf. Tata's created empire, they created Tata Steel, and they allowed Rusi Modi to be a lone wolf. And the lone wolf showed that he created Jamshedpur and he showed what he can do. The research, there has to be a tower headed by one passionate guy who has spent time of his life in research, who has got tremendous organizational capacity and a proper networking in science technology department and in all the major institutions like IISc or Jawaharlal Nehru and GKVK, etc. So this person should be assisted by similar kind of characters, and ultimately this research tower who has got a lobbying capacity right up to Delhi should be able to handhold any project that comes from Bijapur, Gulbarga, Mysore, Mandya. If that project is patentable, it has got a translation possibility, and it is very fertile project, I think we should have a tower which will handhold that man who is so innocent, who has never been taught in his school and college how to do these things and this lobbying. So then we will have a boom of patents, a boom of translatable products, and in this area, we must understand that we should not be shy of partnering with corporate companies like the pharmaceuticals or the medical devices or the healthcare management hospital industries, because then only translation will become more easy and a lot of things that we don't understand, the pearls will come inside. Another thing is, when India got its independence, we built great institutions of basic science, Indian Institute of Science in Bangalore, Jawaharlal Nehru, so many. They all were there, ivory tower, silo, they were all sitting there, they have no connections with us. The translating bodies, the great hospitals, the Bangalore Medical College and other things were all in the center of the town. We are happy here, we are in our own ego, we are in our own silo. They are happy there, they are in their silo. That's not going to work. We cannot translate researches like that, and without translation there is no research. Look at Harvard. Go to Harvard. The big hospital of Harvard is MGH, Massachusetts General Hospital. Walk out of Massachusetts General Hospital, go 50 feet, and you have the big research tower. The same people work in both the places. They eat together, they sleep together, they live together, they are in the same hostels, the youngsters. Translation happens. Ideas get crossed. This is very important, and we, as we go forward, we must remember all this. So, we should build ourselves in the city of Bangalore, in the vicinity. Look at that area of Jayadeva or Nimhans, Sagar, Apollo, Fortis. There are so many hospitals in that area. If you are near, and these are all solid salvars are working here. So that is one thought I'm leaving with you. Another thought that I have to build a campus like that, we have BNC, we have Victoria, we have got Bowring. Why can't the government give it to us? We take a window of 2 years and adjust our students somehow and furiously build all this kind of a state-of-art and center of excellence for Karnataka. We have aims for India, and Rajiv Gandhi will build something for Karnataka. And from there, the journey will begin. So that is my another thought. All our budgets for a huge new campus are, all that should be, I think, spent on technologies rather than civil work. And civil work should take a second beating. The research vertical and all its administrative knowledge, lobbying capacity should be end-to-end handhold all our patentable projects across the state. Our traditional suspicion, contempt of the private corporate sector, whether it is hospital, pharma or medical devices, I think it should be put aside. Time has come to go ahead of that and come out of the past and come into contemporary, smart, vibrant world. Example, I'll tell you. I was very deeply involved with the research for what is called octopus. When you do beating heart surgery, we hold octopus, and it took a long time for that idea to come up commercially. There's a friend of mine called Eric Janssen in the Utrecht University of Holland. He was the spirit behind it. He's anesthetist, Arno Nerish. We just had one meeting with him 2 days back. They were all spirits, and we all over the world went there, did animal experiments. When that was born, the university earned, because it sold like mad from Medtronic, and they got handsome royalty. They're still getting the royalty. My friend Eric got this much, but his stomach was full with that. So, translating a research for years and years will feed you funds like you never imagined. Publications, another issue. Publications in final MBBS and in all PG curriculum, a very meaningful and productive module has to be put, that how I write papers, how I will be handhold, how do I go get funding. All these things boys do not know, girls do not know. So that has to be started from there, and at that time, these boys doing that module should also be rotating in our research vertical, and they must have an online mentor who will see that that module is productive in the future life. Another idea, because we need to stimulate publications, stick and carrot. Stick is a stupid idea. It's always carrot, cash or kind. In the kind, lot of medical faculty is happy with recognition more than cash sometimes. And I suggest a wall of fame. We have so many journals, and there would be a newsletter of the university. Anybody whose index journal paper is published, immediately a clap should come to him on all these journals, a mention, and in our newsletter, there could be a link to the full article. And with that, everybody in our ecology will know that who has published an index paper, and there will be so much of happiness and pride for those people and his family. Wall of fame. My next point is quality. Of late, so many Brahspatis have been going on brainwashing our state on increasing the quantity, medical students and everything. More quantity you increase without looking at quality and diluting quality, you are going to create death and morbidity stabs for all us, and an invitation for unhealthy practices all over, and more trouncing of our brand value as doctors. So I think there has to be a proper balance. Quality first, quantity later. Quantity also don't fall behind, but we must be doing everything simultaneously. The RGUHS has to be stubborn on the mantra of quality, 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 and not bow down, whether it is NMC or the state government. Quality in our day-to-day work can be quantified. How? I'll tell you our own example of Fortis Hospital. With the system analyst in business management, we created two measures. One was called as FOS, Fortis Operating System, and one was called as MOS, Medical Operating Systems. With both, monthly we take an audit and we can actually give marks. Simple thing like in a hospital operations, how long the patient waited in the OPD, or the infections, the catheter, all kind of medical parameters. We can quantify and we can make the departments have a healthy competition with each other, that what was my FOS score, what was my MOS score. We can get system analysts and create this kind of scoring system where we can actually measure our quality and not listen to somebody's bluffery. Then, regionally also, we are going to decentralize, and we must, like Jaydeva, we must go not vertically like that Ahmedabad VN Medical Center. All money spent in Ahmedabad. No, like Jaydeva, we must spread, but not like the AIMS, where AIMS in Ranchi or AIMS in Rishikesh has no control by Delhi, and they become like local wine. No, Rajiv Gandhi controlling the regional centers, and the wine is the same. But the regional centers have to again watchdog of quality, and how do they quantify quality? We must teach them. Secondly, education of the quality teachers. There is an innocent misunderstanding that good teachers are born. No, good teachers can be made, and it has been proved so many times. We created one Pidley model from MCI. I was there at that time, and people attend, many people don't attend. I don't know the productivity of these courses, but I think we have to look at it very carefully, and quality expectations should be same from government and public sector. They both are treating the same innocent Kannadigas. You cannot differentiate them like that. So if you expect something from private, expect the same quality from government. And the teachers training program, regionally spread, has to have teaching is a separate science. Nobody taught me when I was doing my MBBS or my MS or my MCH how to teach. And suddenly I'm asked to teach. I became a professor for 11 years. And I was probably articulate. I had some common sense. I became a good teacher. I became popular. But all cannot do that. So they have to be taught. And the teaching, not just done by another doctor, but by educationists. And we have to have some more healthier, more productive models which can be again quantified whether the guys learned or not. Quality initiatives and ownerships have to be pampered. We have to be partial. That Animal Farm novel, all animals are equal, but some are more equal. It should be true in all our parlance that those who have got quality, those who have got a sense of initiative, those who have got a sense of ownership, they have to be pampered, they have to be differentiated. Others have to know that if I'm like that, I will be favored. We do that. Another thing is, all the great teachers who are very popular, they rise, they are great physicians, they are great diagnosticians, great surgeons, and then they leave. They leave to private. When they leave to private, they stop teaching. It's not a bad idea because the juniors will get a higher chair and there will be nice ecology. But those people are doing such good, fantastic clinical work. They are such good teachers who are not teaching. Once upon a time, we had this honorary system. There were flaws. It failed. Can we not rediscover new model? Can we not allow that wastage of clinical material and these great teachers and renovate a new avatar of this honorary system? They are earning a lot. They are not least bothered about how much we pay. They are bothered about the status symbol, the passion of teaching, the passion of being with youngsters. It's a very different animal for them to be in the campus. So I think we have to harness that and we should set aside all our suspicions and our contempt. That is an emergency because we are wasting hell a lot. If we can harness all that and we have our students going on a rota in all these places, imagine the private space in Bangalore, how big. And if our students start rotating, do you know how many more seats we can increase quantity? So, Zoom classes. Today, the pandemic has taught us with force. Now it will not die. We will now get addicted to Zoom meetings, Zoom classes. So there may be 50 great teachers in Karnataka. And they need not be in one classroom teaching 30, 40, 50, 100 students. They can teach the whole Karnataka at the same time. And so Zoom classes of the great teachers, and it will impact how many students, it will invigorate, inspire how many students. And we have to, this is something which was to be done yesterday, we must be at least doing today. There's no time. The regional camps on surgical training, today there are so many cheap models of simulators. I have one in my hospital where we teach how to anastomose coronary arteries. And if a person does 500 anastomosis, I can save my patients from his learning curve. No, our patients should not be paying for the learning curve. It may be your father, your mother, your uncles. They can't pay for the learning curve of our young surgeons. So these camps should go on every monthly and different batches should be coming. China is full of that. And there's nothing wrong in allowing the device industry to come and chip in, the medical hospitals in private to chip in, the pharma to chip in. But this should go on, the ongoing training. The mentors, every vertical of university and the colleges, whether it is the vice chancellor's post, the research vertical, whatever vertical, think of having a mentor, somebody who is tall, who is sitting in Sweden, who is sitting in America, who is sitting in Chennai or Bombay, but who is somebody who is tall, who is global. These guys are quite happy because they don't have to come, they don't have to physically suffer. They would have online meetings once in a while. It adds their CV, it gives them a great status. But for us, it exposes us to too much of quality, new ideas, pearls, and also network, tremendous global network, which we don't know when it will help us. There is an adage in our business parlance that the first prerequisite to go quality is exposure to quality. Mentors, whether it's the anatomy department or the vice chancellor's chair or research head or anybody, or even a deemed university's vice chancellor's chair, look for mentors. These mentors can visit once a year, otherwise always on Zoom, can be on WhatsApp to take emergency advices. And that once a year will make them sure that they are not just owned by one person. The whole department down below, the new people who are going to sit on that chair, will all be networked with him. And so that is also another very good idea. Composite campuses like MS Ramaya, St. John's, KLE, there are so many campuses in Karnataka like that, where engineering college there, medical college there. These places have tremendous potentials to become the John Hopkins of India. And imagine when the engineering students and medical students are side by side meeting every day, the postgraduates meeting every day, the teachers meeting every day, how much corroborative, translatable research can be done in these places. And if then there are mentors or handholders or partners in IISc or GKVK or Jawaharlal Nehru, I mean, lot can be done and they can be handheld. Their lobbying can be done by our research tower. So ICUs are another places. As we grow medically, even at the small taluka level, we cannot escape ICU. ICU is becoming, once upon a time we never had a vision. ICUs are all about its culture, discipline. It's a very different animal. Intensive care, life is like war, very fluid. And hence the culture is most important. I see the best ICU culture in UK and in Australia. And all these girls and boys there are itching to come to countries like India, Jamaica, Sri Lanka, Brazil on a sabbatical. Their system allows them sabbatical of 6 months, 1 year, 2 years sometimes. And why can't we host and circulate them among our institutions? And they would change so much the culture in our ICUs. That's my another idea, which is good for both government and private, but especially the government hospitals. The first prerequisite for quality, as I told you, exposure to quality. Senior management talent also is equally important as the medical talent. And they also can be brought in mentorship where they will leave deep impact, discipline, culture, and pearls into different institutional managements. And they can be online, they can be coming for a very short time. Today, most specialties in RGUHS, they have their own journals. We just now saw 8 of them. These journals, now we have done the basic job. They have to go high. They have to go high, they have to get indexed. So if we have a special vertical which will oversee the library, because tomorrow's library has to be out of the building, and it has to be very brave, fluid, always going ahead. Then paper production, hand-holding for everybody, and also the getting the journals up, getting the articles of better quality. I'll give an example. You go to Harvard, the New England Journal of Medicine is one of the top journal in the world, and most of us have it online, and as the first day it comes, we leave everything and read 2 things. Generally, The Economist, and in medicine, the New England Journal of Medicine. New England Journal of Medicine is a baby of the Harvard University. Where it has gone? What stops one of the brilliant journal kid in our university from reaching heights? No, nothing stops. We all are equal. All animals are equal. Some can be more equal if we want. So, also another idea, one of my colleague, Dr. Keshav, gave me in Cunningham Road, cardiologist. He said, why can't we in Karnataka grade our colleges? The college, the best, the second, the third, and we can cohort by the age. Some college is 10 years old, some college is 30 years old. And in that cohort, they can compete. And we can have, like Foss and Moss, I told you, a grading system which is healthy, which is impartial. The graders could be from outside, or even we can give them the papers and they can even online grade us. And we can initiate a very healthy internal competition to attract students because their grades are there on the internet. It can be a good idea and one can think about it. The Paramedical Council Act of India is 15 years old, but we haven't really gone too much, and we can take an initiative. I have a heart-lung machine guy. I do brilliant surgery. The child is about 1 month old, and my nursing is great, my anesthesia is great. And if that technician, who may be just a BSc or a matric pass guy, just because of experience is sitting there, is such an important job of heart-lung machine running for a baby. And if he does a little mistake, what have we got in our hand to accredit these guys, to watch their quality? Tomorrow the case goes to court. Why only my neck should be on the news? Why can't these people be accountable? So I think RGUHS also should look at all these courses, accreditation, and also we can involve all the national and state specialty associations in this. What we did in the Association of Cardiac Surgeons, I was the president, we involved Medtronic, the company. They gave money, they gave sponsorship, and we created a school of perfectionists. We accredited them, we re-evaluated them every 3rd year, and also we taught them, and we took CMEs for them time to time. So paramedics is another great area, and as time passes by, we have to look at some new ideas. Today, come to Fortis, go to Victoria, go to Bowring. Bowring, Victoria may have postgraduate students, so there's no problem, there's enough manpower. But go to Apollo, Manipal, Fortis, there is no such manpower. And the patient comes mostly 85 years old, diabetes, renal failure, hypertension. He's got asthma, the lungs are bad, there's a sore on the foot, so many things. And that guy will need so many consultants. And each consultant will not look at their face. Today, the new idea is to have hospitalist. Outside, you have a GP who is running OPD GP. Inside the hospital, GP is a hospitalist. He's a traffic controller. He's the patient's father or mother, and he will sync all those dots together. And more time goes, more and more super specialized we become. Without a hospitalist, we'll be hapless. We should look at this, create our syllabus. There are some fantastic, our own alumni. I know them, I can sync them with you. They are sitting on these programs in the United States. They can give ready-made syllabus, and immediately next year we can roll out a hospitalist course. Also, nurse practitioners. Today, the nurses are such poor creatures. They pass and they remain there. They won't grow. Some of them are capable of growing. So business management, nurse practitioner is like a quasi-doctor all over US, all over the West. Why can't we have a concept of nurse practitioners? It doesn't matter. Nursing Council of India doesn't want, central government doesn't want. Health is a state subject and we can always wield our mandate. And if we do something good, everybody will come behind us and they will start copying us. So that is second. And where I was, okay. Then there is another area which I want to dwell upon is alumni. 26th year. Do you know how many alumni of ours are injected into the globe? How many thousands of them are sitting on chairs of power? Look at IIT, look at IIM, look at St. John's, look at IAMS. You know what power they wield. Mysore Medical College, Bangalore Medical College, what power they wield through the... So every new student that comes in RGU pays a small fees as a membership fees for his alumni association. The moment he goes out, he automatically becomes a member. You create a small office, put an MBA guy there, give him a computer, give him internet, give him 2 assistants maybe. First 6 months, he creates a database of all the students and categorize them A, B, C, who can help. And all these mentors, people visiting, somebody is visiting Bangalore to meet his parent, he goes to Victoria, goes to Bowring, he will work there for 2 days, teach, operate. So many ministers, so many VIPs would go to get these services. It has got so many win-win kind of things. But alumni associations' power and things that you can do through that, more I talk, less I talk. Then RGU can also partner with national and state specialty associations. I already spoke about that. I'll give an example. The University of Leipzig, now the German is united. Leipzig was that side, but after unification, Leipzig is standing tall, university. They have the huge Leipzig Heart Centrum, which is the best quality and quantity heart center in the world. With the partnership for Dallas Medical Center, Leipzig Medical Center does every year one very powerful CME for cardiovascular surgery across the globe. And that's the best program that I get to attend in December. It is under the auspices and sponsorship and Ashirwad of the Leipzig University. So if everybody starts some program and we stimulate, 1 or 2 children will grow to be banyan trees. Can we do that? I'll take a little more time if you don't mind. Then harnessing and unleashing alumni power, I told you. With the pending boom of genetics, robotics, artificial intelligence, and nanotechnology, medicine today is at an inflection point. Everything is going to go mad now onwards. So there will be an exponential change. NMC, if you look at NMC, I don't know, it is still clueless. It is going slow. People there like Paul are multitasking. How can? You have to be giving your entire 24 hours to NMC. So with this kind of inflection point, with exciting new tools and technologies of teaching, we should be radically decompartmentalizing all these departments. I'm studying anatomy. I wish today with all those animated models, every dissection I can finish in 15 minutes. And I don't have to be really doing like how I was doing. And immediately after that, somebody else can come the next 15 minutes, teach me the imaging, CT, MRI, or the nuclear scans. And somebody can teach me something else. The clinical can wait till I go to the bedside. But I can have one purposeful long, and we can completely radically depart from the old way of looking at it. NMC should be doing that. But then I feel my point is that Rajiv Gandhi can start annually one huge, powerful pan-India medical education conference. And as we mature, we can make it Australasia conference. And a lot of it can be online, and all the key members can be completely chattering every day on a group, social group. A lot of pearls will evolve, and we will give idea to NMC of... And we will leave behind NMC as an old man, and we will be the vibrant young kid who's 25 years and who's come to destroy everything old and bring in all the new. We should be there. So we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act but a habit. If you do these kind of things, excellence becomes a habit. Perfection is a mirage. Quantity, my next point. Quantity, there is a national hunger for quantity, agreed. More at the specialty level than the MBBS level. I think whatever people may be talking publicly, there's a glut. And there are not enough patients for each doctor. Quantum of valuable clinical material in private hospitals should be harnessed. The great teachers in the private hospital should be harnessed. We should create rota and more seats. CPS had a great system of diplomas in Bombay. There were a lot of faults. It went off. We hate it. We hate it because in private hospital, if you want to make a surgeon to do something, he may not be taught surgery properly. But what about medical? So many small talukas and big talukas and bigger villages are hungry for pediatrician, skin and VD people, so many medical subjects. We could at least filter out and start CPS like diplomas and allow so many private bodies to do that. Can you imagine the booms in that number? That is what we are hungry for. Then we need many more niche micro specialties. For example, in cardiac surgery, I can talk with authority. The guys who do minimally invasive multivessel bypass surgery, there are very few of them, but those, they will be doing at least 2 per day. The guys who do aorta surgery are hardly few in this country, but they do everyday aorta surgery. Like that, I can pick up 5. I go to my urology colleague, robotic urology surgery. I go to my gynecology colleague, robotic gynecology surgery or minimally invasive laparoscopic gynecology. We don't have courses on that. Once upon a time in MCI, Dr. Mishra was fighting tooth and nail with me on this concept of fellowship courses. Today, AIMS is full of fellowship because there's a dum in that. If Rajiv Gandhi doesn't charge big fees, stimulate everybody, get our revenue only by fee sharing with each student, and it could be open to the whole world. We could have one office which could actually handle a person coming from, say, Uganda, coming from Azerbaijan, and we can get their temporary registration, we can help them, hospital will partner, and we can have in each specialty at least 5 fellowships. And first we will fill our belly, Karnataka will be educated, India will be educated, and you can imagine what kind of brand value we will spread across the world, how many people will get trained here. Go to Narayana Hrudayalaya. I can immediately see Narayana Hrudayalaya and the Mujumdar Shah, they can at least start 30 to 35 microspecialty fellowships like this. Same thing with Victoria. So much of brilliant work is going on. So that is another thing. Then we talk about Ayush. The allopathy people get angry. The Ayush people get angry. We are only knowing what is wrong with each other. But are we going to destroy that? Are we going to destroy this? No. We have to learn to live together. And is there any meaning in each pathy? Yes. Are there any areas in allopathy where they could borrow Ayurveda, where they can borrow yoga? There are so many cardiac surgeon friends of mine who have got yoga mixed in their post-bypass surgery rehabilitation. So we have to, Rajiv Gandhi can be the ambassador, the broker, who could bring the pathies together and sing them. Some initial work is going on in Manipal group, but I think we should accelerate that. With that, we could actually create so many courses, simplest, lowest hanging fruit. So many single yoga teachers are running global yoga teachers program. There is no quality, we don't know, can they be accredited, is there accreditation? Rajiv Gandhi can get up, create a accreditation program, tell all of them to join us. A Rajiv Gandhi brand on the certificate will make it more respectable for the guys who are going back to France or Belgium as a yoga teacher. And we could harness the whole thing. How many students would have the Rajiv Gandhi Thappa and go out? So quantity, but not taking eyes off the quality. In all the spaces, the fee sharing, I told you, there is no need to let them run away with fear that, oh, I have to pay 50 lakh rupees or 40 lakh rupees. Not necessary. Then even papers. Only now, last 10-15 years, I'm seeing papers coming from Jigni and places like that. Before that, in a space like yoga, proper, authenticated class 1 papers only came from the Western world. Shame on us. And if we sync people together, the allopathy guys, some of the seniors, they are factories of paper making. They will teach the other pathies how not to be anecdotally, how not to have a closed mind. What do you mean by proper studies? So it's better to light a candle than curse the darkness. A major state-partnered institute of medical rehabilitation is pending. We have in Chennai, we have in Bombay. Do we have in Karnataka? Let Rajiv Gandhi take initiative. The government will spend, because government want it. A central institute, maybe in Bangalore, maybe anywhere else, big campus, rehabilitation, occupational therapy, physiotherapy, and research on orthotics. How many courses, graduate, postgraduate, fellowship, and diploma and smaller courses we can produce? And what will happen to these products that will come out? And it can be global. Now today, I cannot see in Bangalore a single, even private corporate rehabilitation center. But time has come. We could go there. I was talking to Dr. Sudhakar. He was very excited. So I don't think government will have any objection, and they would be, and if we have persuasion and proper negotiation, we can have them opening their purse strings. Iqbal Singh Chahal in Bombay was the best example that what can you do with your mandate and your power, and how you could show the promise of a political mileage to your political masters. So all this will impact administrative standards and existing. Another idea before I go to the next is healthcare management. Healthcare management has now become too complex a science. I realize that many of my friends have ventured in starting private hospital and have struggled. And I don't want to name, but one of my friends went to jail because he could not pay the provident fund to his people. And so it's a science. Do we have a good, healthy, strong healthcare management school in Bangalore? We don't have. It can be a postgraduate school. They can do MBA and join, or directly join for healthcare management. Look at Bangalore space of private hospitals. How many senior, countrywide respected senior managers are here? And if we start a school like that, they can be honorary teachers. Our students can rotate in all these hospitals. Their exposure can be very high class. It can be a big school. It can have multiple courses. So, and all that, the students can be utilized by all our government hospitals as actually on the job, in the ward, everywhere managers. They will change the perspective. They will bring the capacity of all our doctors who are sitting on administrative chairs high. And that is also an emergency. So another PG institute is a medical communication. Go to biggest communication schools. The MIT of communication is in Boston, the Emerson School of Communication. There are different streams. 2 streams are very weak in India. Political communication, and the people like this guy from Bihar is charging 500 crore for all childish arithmetic. Political communication is a different animal. I will not go there. Medical communication. Simple. I want to tell all my staff how to wash hands. Some people are articulate, some people are not articulate. All teachers are not the same. Make a film, 5 minutes. Ask that girl to sit there and see that film for 5 times. Finished. And the articulation is same for everybody. Starting from this such silly film pamphlet to everything. Medical communication is a vast field. It's very promising in money, and it's a great idea. We can start a school of medical communication, and we can enjoy the PR branding free from those people there, and which is a necessity and to all our government hospitals. And the communication with the patient, teaching, simplest thing today, how do we go and get vaccine? Nobody can register that. How do I, we are now doing teleconsultation. How a person in Ireland, Gulbarga, can know how to come on Microsoft Teams and consult me. So these small communication animated videos will make it so simple for a villager. So Institute of Medical Communication, the vertical that mentors, another vertical that mentors library, publication, can also be entrusted with the creation. I was just talking to Dr. Sachinandan, a national museum in Bangalore of Indian medical history. Melbourne has the Royal College of Surgeons, and Dr. Cherian of Madras, encouraged by all of us, he got a statue of Sushruta made. Everybody in the world recognizes father of surgery Sushruta, 800 years before Christ. You enter the Melbourne Royal College of Surgeons, you have a statue of Sushruta sitting there, donated by Cherian. But Charaka, there are so many things. If you read on Wikipedia, you'll be stunned how much history we have before 1500 years before we started getting raped like that. So if we could bring back that history, and there are so many things like the bone holding forceps, the Bhagayantra, which is a proctoscope, 800 years before Christ, the same today, even now today it is the same. The rhinoplasties and stuff like that. So we could create a museum of Indian medical history, and all the country can come here, and we could create a lot of publications from that, a lot of online films from that, and teach the world that what we wear. It will be a good service by us. The RGUHS can also be a watchdog and a catalyst on medical tourism. Once this pandemic is over, trust me, as much as IT, medical tourism will earn money here. There are 12 blind people who are trying to find it. My patient comes right from the foreign ministry to everybody harasses him. Sometimes even the IT people will go and harass him just to make some small money. So there is some big body like RGUHS who is syncing with the government departments, whether Delhi or here, and the hospitals. And this is something very useful for the country. So much economy boom can be brought in by creating these educational activities and medical tourism activities from abroad. The last is fundraising. Actually, if you create these great numbers in both sides, you could create another Boston in Bangalore. You go to Boston, the whole city is patients and students and teachers. Then beyond that, there is so much in Bangalore, but imagine what we will add to the economy of Bangalore or the state. Fundraising. We're happy we got this 13 crore or whatever, 100,000 crores. But we want to get a lot of new technologies. We will have so much problem moving governments, getting funds. Look at any great university, whether it is Stanford, Yale, Harvard, everywhere there are great donors. India was a very poor in philanthropy. It is changing. But still in India, it's not just blind emotion of philanthropy, but we have to show them what value we bring on the table. Then the philanthropists are there. So we come with great ideas, and we don't have to look at government. We can go to private fundraisers. When we started Jayadeva, we fought with Ramakrishna Heggade and got autonomy. The chief secretary was so angry that to get any damn thing moved was so difficult. So we said to Chinnaya, let's go to the public sector. BHL, BEL, all kind of sectors. We got so much money, and we named everybody. The Hartling machine was not there. Cath lab was not working. Everything we got working, and we didn't have to bother about anybody. Today, we have a capacity to fundraising, great capacity. Fundraising is not common sense. Fundraising, again, is a science. Somebody, a medical social worker who is MA in social work, who has got a long experience, create a tower, give a computer, give a vehicle, give 2 assistants. First 6 months, database of all the proper people who can donate. And then go behind item-wise. And we can create, an alumni association can be a great power behind our fundraising effort. So Rajiv Gandhi University is now well poised to dream much bigger greatness. It can become India's pride and envy of India's neighbors. Trust me. But we are a civilized, we are a very decent state and very modern state, and it is possible. But timelines have to be drawn. We must not forget this Kabir Das's important teaching कि कल करे सो आज कर, आज करे सो अब, पल में परलय होएगी, बहुरी करेगा कब. Timeline have to be drawn and respected. I wish RGUHS on this eve of 26th Foundation Day all the very best. God bless you all, sir, and may you all live in interesting times. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies, for calling me here today. Thank you.